Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Get up, get going. Happy Friday. It is time for another installment of the Wrestling Inc. Daily. To me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Friday to have some fun, to talk the top news of the day. It's Christy Olson. Christy, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Hello, Nick, and happy Friday to you as well. Happy to be here today. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. And also, the live chatters are already giving us their opinions, which I love to hear.
Daniel Price, AEW, starting to get like Oprah handing out cars. You get a contract, and you get a contract. Yeah, well, we're going to get into that here today. Sherrod Jones, man, I love Friday podcast. I get to see my future wife, Christy. All right, well, look,
Aww.
she's taken, all right?
Listen,
Sherrod.
I do love a confident guy.
That's true, very confident. Samantha here, more polite, just a good afternoon, Nick and Christy. Hey, we got a great show here planned for you today. We're going to talk all the news here, some big news here, some breaking news here just this morning. Also, later on, if you're listening to us in audio form, you're going to hear my conversation with Trisha Dora. She is going to be part of the Ring of Honor Women's Title Tournament. She is also the I'm going to butcher here. Let me make sure. I got to pull the note up here. Let me pull up my note because I want to make sure I say the name of the title correctly here. Where are my questions? All right. She is the Pan-African World Diaspora Champion. And it's a wonderful name for a title. It's a beautiful belt. You're going to get to hear Trish talk all about it and what it's like to be in the ROH women's division at the moment. She's taking on Marty Bell this weekend. It's going to be great, Christy.
Yay, well, I can't wait to hear that one.
Yeah, Trisha Dora. Stick around, one of my favorites. Also, in the mailbag, I really decided to stir it up here.
You're going in hard today, Nick. There was
a comment Peyton Royce made to Chris Van Vliet. I'm not going to read it now. We'll read it in the mailbag. But got me thinking Iconics, right? Like, man, it's been a while since I thought about the Iconics real hard. So we're going to talk about the Iconics in the mailbag. I'll leave it at that. And if you want to talk to us throughout the show, as you've seen, I've been throwing comments up on the screen. Join the comment section wherever you're at, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube. Leave a comment. We'll talk with you along. And you can also give us thumbs up, happy faces, sad faces, all that stuff, all the emoji help. Let's get to it, Christy. News you can use. News that'll leave a bruise. Adam Cole, baby, right? Top news item here this morning. Wrestling Observer saying AEW has made an offer to Adam Cole. According to those close to the situation, it was also said that Cole is currently negotiating a new NXT contract, but as of midweek, he has not agreed to either offer. Fightful saying Cole still has a positive relationship with top NXT officials. There is a lot of mutual respect there. As a free agent, Cole would be able to start with any promotion as soon as his WWE deal expires. There are no non-compete clauses when a contract expires. You have a non-compete if you get fired, right? You know this, Christy, right?
No, I feel like at WWE, they want you to think that even if you just don't resign, you have to work under that non-compete. And you're telling me that that's wrong. I can't be the only one who think this. I thought this for a whole year. Renee just said something that made me think that she thinks that. What's going on here, Nick? I know we can talk about Adam Cole too, but like this is important.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that Adam Cole is just in a position right now where he's got a very good offer on both sides, and I think he's going to go to AEW. I don't think he stays with WWE.
It's dawning on me now what a golden time this is, right? Because even in the world of entertainment outside of pro wrestling, it's been considered a little taboo to be negotiating with an outside media source, someone who's going to hire you when you are currently negotiating with a person you're under contract with. I myself personally heard a very good host who had a lot of success afterward get her ass fired for doing just this when I worked in cable TV. So that was about 10 years ago. So how far we've come, especially here in pro wrestling, that everybody in the world, from fans to executives, knows that this guy is talking to both companies. He is leveraging them against each other because that's just the smart thing to do. Obviously, that's the situation. And oh my God, how amazing is this? It finally feels like a wrestler or performer has the upper hand.
Well, and if the timeline here is correct, it does sound like some time ago Adam Cole's contract did expire. Right. And then he added the extension, right? So there's that little window there, where, they're not in a relationship, right? You're free to go see other people. Before they got back in, you can't get mad at them because they wouldn't talk to someone because we weren't in a relationship at the time, right? Like,
Right.
so maybe he instigated that AEW negotiation talk in that period there where he wasn't under a WWE contract for, a fortnight, whatever it may be. And, now as everybody knows the timeline here, Adam's got to know what the other side looks like right now, and he's got to know, right?
Right. And one of the ways that he would maintain that respect that you're reporting he's still gotten from WWE and the NXT brass is by being honest with them. And I'm sure they asked him, hey, are you entertaining other offers? Keep us posted. We want to be the ones who win out. I mean, again, this is just never, it's unheard of. And it puts Adam Cole in a position that no wrestler I feel like has ever been in before. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is very good for him to be being bid on back and forth like this right now. But I've said this a couple times this week. If you are looking at all the people that have been getting released here recently, it's people that negotiated good deals about a year ago, right? Sure. And now WWE's like, oh, shit, what did we do? Like, we spent too much money. I don't really know that now is the best time to be making a good deal with WWE if you know that their MO at the moment is, we'll just go back on it. We'll keep you here as long as we think we can and do whatever we want with you. Maybe drive your value down more while overpaying you, and then just set you free at another date. That's why I think he winds up in AEW right now for a lot of reasons. I don't see Adam. I don't know what's left for Adam Cole in NXT.
Yeah, but there are so few superstars at WWE or even NXT who can say, hey, I've got it pretty good over here. He's one of the few. He is a main eventer. He is on TV every week. He does get all the takeover main events. He could go to AEW and possibly get lost in the shuffle. They have a lot of big names over there. They have a lot of people who've come over from WWE to varying degrees of success and TV time. It's rare that we say WWE is the sure thing, but for Adam Cole, it almost seems like it is.
Eric Clark here saying don't let him to the main roster, right? And I think that's kind of where my head's at as well, because is he presented in a big light? Yeah, but he's an NXT superstar. The NXT deal's very different than main roster deals, right? And the cat's out of the bag now. So like Waltman and I, we talked to Malachi Black yesterday for about an hour. We're not going to release it till Wednesday. But we leaked some comments last night.
You've been teasing us, Nick. I saw it all over.
Yeah. We dropped the comments Malachi made last night about the Cody match, but I guess I'll do a little bit further tease here for next Wednesday. So please go subscribe Pro Wrestling for Life. But definitely seems to be a difference in relationship that he had with Vince and Hunter. And Hunter can only do so much in his box, right? Like, once you go to the main roster, you're Vince's toy. And I don't know that Vince McMahon is going to know what to do with an Adam Cole. I think he's going to probably walk up next to him and puff his chest out and realize he's bigger and maybe this guy's done forever, right? So, I don't really know how much. Can you get 20,000 more a year, 30,000? I don't know, right? From a WWE. AEW, there's a lot of money there, and your friends are there, and your girlfriend's there. And I keep going back to that promo Tony Khan cut post Dynamite a ways back, a couple weeks back, where he was like, we don't have a performance center. We just present the best wrestlers in the world. And I think that was an open invitation to Adam Cole, trying to sell him on coming to AEW. I think Tony Khan really wants Adam Cole in AEW.
And I can respect that. I could certainly see why he would want them there, but Tony has a lot of big players. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of people who aren't getting TV time. He's paid a lot of people a lot of money, a lot of big names. It's like, and there's a lot of focus on signing male talent as well. Why are we not concerned with beefing up the women's roster a little bit? It's just like, how many can do this?
Well, it does feel a bit like me. There was that one episode of Nitro where they just said, all right, if you're in the NWO, just come out. You're part of the NWO now. And they tripled the ranks of the NWO in one night. And I kind of feel like Tony Khan is in this moment just saying, you know what? We'll take you, right? Like if there's some value out there, before Vince can figure out that he did something stupid, or Hunter can hard sell you on taking less money but a bigger platform, we're just going to let you in, right? We got the budget right now. We're just going to do this thing. And the reason I say that is Fightful also saying Pete Dunne's deal is coming up sometime after SummerSlam weekend in late August. No confirmation on the actual expiration date. The Dunn contract situation said to be similar to the Adam Cole situation, but no details provided. I'm guessing that means his deal would just expire. There's a lot of Monday Night War, NWO invasion stuff, right? I don't know that Punk and Daniel kind of fit that cloth, but the NXT Dynamite war has been very upfront, and I'm positive there are a great deal of wrestling fans out there that don't read the dirt sheets or watch this show that have any idea Adam Cole and Pete Dunne could become available instantly. And they've already been hard sold this Wednesday Night War thing. I don't know that Adam Cole and Pete Dunne showing up together, maybe with like a Tony Nese, who I guess was backstage at Dynamite. I don't know if that plays there. What are these guys doing here? They're from the other show. I mean, that seems right in their wheelhouse,
Yeah, you've kind of sold me on it. Yeah, that could work if those guys are into it, and who wouldn't want to be after the original invasion angle has gone over so well for the last, 30 years or whatever. But where are they going to get the TV time to do that? And there's so much kind of similar going on already. And
I'm just saying, I'll just throw it out there. And I do think that there is a better chance Pete Dunne stays than Adam Cole, just because Adam Cole has, he's been a former Ring of Honor champion. He knows what it is to work at a main event level. I think he's got a lot of friends at AEW. I just think there's a higher chance. Pete Dunne, his relation, and look, just because you have a great relationship with Shawn Michaels and Hunter doesn't necessarily mean you get to stick around. But Shawn has been so invested in that NXT UK project. I know how much slack they've given Pete to kind of do his own thing, not just as a wrestler, but also as a mentor and a coach.
Since day one, when they didn't sign all those British guys to deals and they were all working shows in Europe and everywhere and making tons of money and were the envy of everyone at NXT.
Yeah. So I just think that Pete Dunne is doing things like Adam Cole, definitively a talent, right? He may do some other stuff, but Pete Dunne has filled a lot of roles, and I just think that he would stay. And they put him with Rich Holland and Oni, and they've got this little group. And it was tough for him through the pandemic because, you can't travel. Yeah. So he really got lost in the shuffle even more. I don't know,
But that becomes an even bigger issue with AEW because, if Pete finds himself stuck over in the UK, well, he can still work NXT if he really wants to, if they can fit him in. You know what I mean? I think you're right that he can be a little more comfortable at NXT.
Yeah. So I think that Adam Cole to AEW, if Tony Khan wants you there, then you're gonna get to do stuff. If you're trying to earn Tony's interest and respect, and get over or find that spot, it's a rougher time in that mid card over at AEW. But if Tony and the guys want you there, they'll find stuff for you to do. And look, Adam Cole, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, all cut. They're little versions of each other, right? That's a division. That's a wave of wrestlers that's going to be very impressive and definitely, I think, grab a lot of people.
Yeah, well, and this is just something that's been so long discussed because Britt is there, since the beginning of AEW. Is Adam Cole going to go there? And it would certainly cause a splash.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody else we found out yesterday on our show, and we didn't really talk about it, but Polio Del Mar broke this news in the interview with Renee Paquette that her WWE non-compete is coming up here, as she said, very soon. So that's just another name that'll be out there. She's right off of having a baby. I don't know if you saw the interview with Polio, but she had the baby Nora with her. Renee would be another interesting name kind of in that AEW orbit, just for a talking head kind of piece for them,
Yeah, I think you'll see her for marquee events, anything where they can really advertise that they have her because people love her for things like pre-shows, after shows, that kind of stuff. However, does she want to be the person under contract who's there every week doing backstage interviews, which she's been doing for 10 years or whatever and has done a million times over? I don't get the idea from her that she thinks she can grow a whole lot more in the world of hosting and pro wrestling. So I think, yeah, we'll see her there every once in a while for the big stuff, but I don't think she's going to become a regular over there. Dasha shouldn't be nervous in any way.
So let's read a couple comments here, just kind of recapping all of the free agents or people possibly moving around here. Daniel Price, AEW is basically a frat house of inmates that pay you to hang out. I don't know that that's completely accurate, but definitely a more relaxed environment. Antonio Garcia, Cole could have a big run with Hangman when Hangman wins the title, and those two do have history for being the elite.
Right.
And Hangman, odd man out here. I don't know exactly what's going on with CM Punk and Christian Cage now all of a sudden being in the main event picture with Kenny Omega. But you're going to have to find something meaningful for Hangman to do. And I do think that their fan base would really get into a Hangman Adam Cole feud if that was the first program you wanted to do with an Adam Cole,
Yeah. And wow, isn't it just fun to kind of look at that stuff and go, oh, is that why XYZ has happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. We also have a comment here from Stan Grubb. I feel like AEW, if they keep hiring the former WWE folks, they're going to suffer from a bloated roster like WWE experienced a couple years back. And they're bloodletting just now, Christy. Like, I think we're finally seeing the levee break. It was a thing. Like, how many people can they have, right?
Yeah, Rampage is really going to change things because what doubles their TV time every week. Doubles the time that they can give to talent to put people over to get you acquainted with their performers and all that kind of stuff. So I totally agree at this point that they are in danger of that happening. But with Rampage, the dam could burst and it could break into two flowing, successful, million people rated rivers.
There you go. Yeah. And I think we're about a year away from seeing the first big wave of AEW like releases. It's not good press for them. Yeah. I know why they're trying to keep everybody in house right now or on lower tiered contracts or whatever. But I gotta feel like we're a year away from Tony having to look at his budget being like, we can't hold people for 5 years. We can't hold everybody for 5 years. So that may let some people go, right?
Yeah, it's kind of one of the things that he's made these grandiose statements about to look like a good guy, right? Like it's a pandemic, we're gonna try our best not to release anybody, knowing full well that everyone knows that WWE is releasing people and that makes them look bad. And Tony does this sort of thing a lot, and I fear sometimes he's gonna have to end up eating his words. But yeah, probably about a year away from eating those words.
Well, we also, like I mentioned earlier, bodyslam.net, they said Tony Nese was backstage at Dynamite this past week. They also said Kiera Hogan was backstage. And you talk about that women's division. There is so much focus on how many white guys can we fit into AEW's male division, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of white guys. A lot of white guys that look a lot alike heading their way. And so anyway, I do love the reports about Kiera Hogan, Ruby Soho. What a great photo, like iconic photo this past week with the red hair and that little cafe. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been so interesting to see how the released wrestlers position themselves. We've seen some of them make these really cool videos that announces a new character. She kept quiet, which there was this mystique around her. I remember reading a few stories like, oh, we haven't heard from Ruby Riott in a while. People took notice that she was being quiet. It felt like something was brewing. And then that picture, so perfect. She looks just different enough from Ruby Riott, but still enough herself. I think it's a great look for her. People are gonna go nuts whenever she debuts.
Yeah, and the only podcast she's done was that one with the Rancid lead singer. I'm afraid it's the Avid Wrestling podcast or whatever.
That's right. Yeah,
and she did it, and I think it may have been an agreement. I don't know if it came out. Maybe it was they wanted it to be spontaneous or it was spontaneous, but that's the only interview she did, and she went in a talent looking to do an exit interview, and she came out with a brand new name and an entrance theme song. And so if you're going to do one interview, That's the one to do, Christy. That's the
she
one.
does have that street cred and those, with the punk rock music and all that stuff. And, I think that'll help her in many ways.
Yeah, we have Rob Robinson here saying, oh wait, no, never mind. Rob Robinson, I can't wait for Ruby to show up in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about her too is because Rancid's like you can use the name Ruby Soho, you can use the song.
So
It's a really noticeable song, and those AEW fans love their 90s nostalgia. When that thing hits, I think she's going to be an instant star and immediately go into a program with Britt Baker would be my guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And something else that she's bringing along with her is experience working TV matches. You know what I mean? Cutting promos for TV, having been in promo class for years. Those are things that she has over a lot of the women talent there. And I hate to kind of say, oh, you had to go through the PC or, you had to go be trained by WWE, but they are one of the only wrestling companies that is training people for TV matches, which is very different than working to a live crowd, so she's got a lot in her backpack that she's bringing with her. And I'm excited.
Yeah, very excited. Well, WrestleNomics, they're saying Wednesday's live homecoming edition of Dynamite did 1.102 million viewers, just about even from where they were last week. It was the first time Dynamite has averaged more than 1 million viewers 4 weeks in a row. Their key demos were also way up. So just more good news in regards to AEW's momentum, and all this through the Olympics, which is really impressive, right?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if some of the other shows kind of bowing out that we usually watch during this time instead of Dynamite, or maybe, watch them all on a Wednesday night. A lot of those shows kind of backed off. They were scared of the Olympics, but Dynamite went up head to head and they are winning. And it's obvious too. Like I hear this every week and I'm not surprised. The show feels like it's worthy of at least 1 million viewers every week. It feels like a big show. It feels like a destination TV for Wednesday night. I mean, there isn't some weird reason why people are finally tuning in now. This isn't just a coincidence. This is well-deserved. It's what they're doing working.
And we have a good comment here from Ryan W. saying the challenge returns next week.
Yes.
We're going to see how that goes. So
that's what I mean. They were scared of the Olympics.
Yeah. The challenge used to be Real World Road Rules Challenge, and now it's just the challenge, right?
Oh, the kids don't even know what you're talking about, Nick.
Okay,
I do.
Thank you. I keep saying that, and I'm like, did this used to be something else? Something I knew, but it's new and different now. I don't know that I like it.
Yeah. No, they put the old people on Paramount Plus. Just the young kids on the challenge on MTV now.
Has the Miz done the challenge? I feel like he's had to have done the challenge.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like in the last few years.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, or hosted or something. I mean, he's loyal.
By the way, my comment about a ton of white guys going to the main event of AEW really seems to have resonated. Ooh. King Rail, that's my only problem with AEW. Not enough ethnicities. Everyone is kind of looking the same. I really thought Cody would have noticed that by now. It is a lot of and like I'm pro Jay Resso, Christian Cage.
Size-wise.
Right? I'm pro Jay Resso. I don't understand why in this position they couldn't have gone with a person of color, to get the rub here or something, because it doesn't seem like Christian's going to be the guy to take that title off Kenny Omega. Could be wrong, right? But anyway.
Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to say, stop trying to make Christian happen again. He's not going to happen again. He never really happened in the first place.
I liked his promo from this past week. I thought it was the best promo he's cut in AEW, right? About trying to show he's there to win championships, not just like show up and do nothing. I thought there was some fire there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little too late, but
yeah. So moving to some WWE news real quick before we get to Trish Adora, and then we're going to talk about the Iconics in the mailbag. SmackDown superstar Dolph Ziggler has called out pathetic fans who constantly complain online about 54-year-old Bill Goldberg taking the spotlight from younger talents, but also cheer for the WWE Hall of Famer every time he returns to WWE TV. And here's my response. I was at Raw on Monday. I've told this story at least once this week. It's not the smart fans that are cheering Goldberg. It is families and kids. I heard an Oldberg chant become a Goldberg chant on Monday night because the kids thought they were chanting Goldberg, right? I heard it start as Oldberg and end as Goldberg. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, but you're right. That shows us why WWE keeps bringing him back, why he's worth huge money still to this day. I mean, you can't deny that. You were there. You saw it. You heard it happen.
I saw it happen. So, Dolph, I'm just saying, misguided at who you're upset with. Go yell at the children, Dolph. Go yell at kids. Idiots.
I mean,
You
heel Ziggler.
You drunk little people. Come on, right? That's all kids are.
But you know what? This is rare for Dolph Ziggler to come out and like publicly kind of be that brazen against the fans. You know, I'm like, where are we going with this? It's got to be a work.
Lost memory card saying Jericho, Sting, and Hoovy all as old as Goldberg. And there is a little bit of a pass in AEW, I feel like, when it comes to using the legends sometimes. I mean, Hoovy I thought looked fine, you know, with nostalgia stuff. But there is a little bit of a pass when AEW does things that people do give grief to WWE about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't know that. I won't say anything negative.
Well, Ziggler's a company man. It is what it is. But Dave Langer saying AEW uses legends to get over younger talent. And look, Goldberg put over McIntyre, right? I hope he puts over Lashley.
Yeah, I mean, that whole segment got jacked, you know, with the chance. So I don't know really what that says about Goldberg's ability to be able to put over Lashley, or even I don't know that I agree that he even really needs to. But yeah, AEW has certainly used their veterans better in that way, and AEW has proven that works out for everyone. You know, Sting's selling the most T-shirts while he's putting Darby Allin over. He can sell the second most T-shirts. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily this thing that they're obligated to do that kind of is like, you know, the sword to the throat at the end of your career.
Sure. Yeah. And I think they use Sting well. Like, I think Sting is like really, they've used Sting very, very well. I actually don't have an issue with many of the legends they've used. It's just a lot of them. It's a lot of legends managing people. Just a little confusing sometimes.
No, that's true. My dad pops in and out of Dynamite, and that was one of the things he said recently. He was like, man, they got a lot of those veterans over there.
Just a lot of them.
A lot of guys that he recognizes. That's how he knows.
I like how Nick Roberts is just like, you know what? I figured out what works. Just don't say anything. Just show up, wear your tracksuit, choke somebody,
right?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, give a little advice behind the scenes if someone asks. He's happy to do that.
Getting out of here. Last item here before we get to Trish Adora. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, are going to defend their titles against the Mysterios at SummerSlam in Vegas. This is going to be a rematch after they drop the straps. After the Mysterios drop the straps to the Usos at Money in the Bank. And so we're going to get a rematch. This did a lot of traffic, so I thought I'd include it, but I'm not, you know, I don't know.
So people must be invested in this then, or is it just anything that is, you know, Roman Reigns adjacent, is the Usos is adjacent, is people are gonna
I worry that we are spiraling back to live events not happening, and we are quickly seeing WWE revert back to, we have to put everything in holding pattern because we can't give away big stuff again, because we don't know what's about to happen here. And that's really my biggest concern. I think we're just about to get back to some of the stuff that people haven't really enjoyed the past few months, just because of the changing landscape of the country at the moment, you know? So
yeah, and I've heard a lot of people who work behind the scenes in different capacities at different places kind of conjecturing too that we're headed back, you know, back to the Thunderdome, perhaps to SummerSlam being canceled. I didn't think there was any chance of that, but yeah, unfortunately it does look like we're headed back that way.
Jared Orla, by the way, saying, why doesn't Christy think Goldberg should put over Lashley? Did you say that, or did you?
Oh, well, I said I don't think he needs to. Does Lashley need to be put over by Goldberg?
No, I don't think he needs it. And it definitely
Jared,
doesn't.
Do you think?
It definitely doesn't feel the same as like Cena putting over Roman Reigns.
No, right? Not at all.
No.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, he gets secondhand booking of Roman Reigns. You get the same booking, but like lesser names, right? And you know,
I mean, we don't know Bobby Lashley's cousin, so.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, Christy, I want to thank you for talking news today with me. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in the comment section here today. We got a little bit more road to go. Of course, Trish Adora, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. We're about a half hour away from that conversation I had with Trish premiering over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel. So I really hope you go check that out. It's a fantastic conversation. Check out her and Marty Bell starting this weekend on ROH TV and that ROH Women's Title Tournament. So today's poll question comes to us from @WinkDaily, as they all do. Currently, by the way, we have 1,150 followers. You could be number 1,151. That's a very special number. And so if you want to be number 1151, maybe my favorite number, you should go follow us over on the Wrestling Inc. Twitter account.
Yes. I mean, and just all the good stuff that you get there. Get to vote in the poll every day, then you won't miss it. Maybe get a shout out on the show. Like, what are you doing if you're not following?
Absolutely. And as much as I like 1151, 1152 is my second favorite number. So if you are 1152, that's also a very good number. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Okay, so Brian Bills, do I unfollow and follow again? No, it doesn't work that way. It balances out.
But you know what? That's efficient thinking, Brian. I like where your brain's at.
Brian, you got to unfollow, tell a friend to follow, then you can follow again, and you can be that very special 1151 or 2. I'm kind of partial to 1153 also, by the way. So, they're all good. They're all special numbers.
Anyway. You're that kind guy who doesn't encourage people to unfollow other. You're not like, so unfollow WrestleZone and Fightful and The Observer.
No. I don't know why this tickles me so much.
Because it's all you, Nick. You've built this following.
I just think it's so dumb. All right, anyway. I'm like I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard right now. It's a fun Friday. Okay. All right, today's poll question. Let's get real, people. Oh, by the way, what's the prize for 1152? My heart, okay? Anyway, poll question. Who is your preferred iconic? Is it Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, or in all caps, do not make me do this? Now, Christy, who did you vote for?
Okay, so I saw this pop up on my phone and I could read the first part of it, which iconic, and I was like, oh God, what am I even going to say? And I was like going to type out, like, you can't make me do this. I was like, oh, good. Whew. You can't make me do this is one of the options. So I, of course, went with that. And then just had to reiterate in all caps with my comment that this is like worse than Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, really going in hard. I wanted everybody to really think today. I chose Billie Kay, and the reason I chose Billie Kay stems from this interview Peyton Royce did with Chris Van Vliet, where she admitted that she told Vince she wanted to try out being a singles wrestler, and that is likely why the Iconics got split up. I guess Billie was like out for a week, right, with like an injury or something, and she's healing up, and so they had Peyton do a singles match, and Vince was like, oh, you're great, and that's what Peyton, sneaky, she slid in there and she said, well, I'd throw Billie under the bus in a second, Vince.
Yeah, right.
I would cut her throat. I would throw her in a ditch. Give me that title, Vince, right? I'm just kidding. I don't think she said any of that. But I'm going to imagine she was real conniving about it. And that is why I am even more now pro Billie Kay than I was before. And I was very much pro Billie Kay before.
The fact that she has you thinking that that's what she would do just proves how good she is, because I think that they were probably in constant communication that whole time, and Billie was probably encouraging her like, hey, I know you talked to me in January. She said they had talked about it. You talked to me in January. Maybe this is the time. And really, of course, this was going to happen eventually. Peyton, like, it's okay. Don't feel too bad. All tag teams get broken up because that's where we get some of our most awesome feuds from, right? Mm-hmm. So it was bound to happen, and they both are incredible on their own. So yeah, I wouldn't want Peyton to feel bad. Also, I think that they both are headed for fantastic, much, much bigger things together or separate. So
sure. I would hope so as well. I do wonder, like the Carney part of my brain is like, well, did she put this out there intentionally? Right? Like, is there she wanted people to have some kind of like animus between them, right? Like before it was like them versus the machine. By saying this, she's now said, well, it was actually me versus her. And I don't know if that's something that like an independent promotion or a major promotion may want to lean into, but it's certainly a very interesting tidbit to float out there.
It had never occurred to me that maybe they would want to go somewhere and feud. I just always think of them together forever, BFFs, and even everything that they've said since then is about how much they love working together. That had never occurred to me, Nick, but that would be freaking awesome. I'm sure they could pull it off, and I would be so tuned in. Like, I would be so into that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's why I was like, well, it is weird that until now they've been so like, oh, we loved each other, we don't understand, and now we have this moment where Peyton's like, all right, let's build a team here.
Actually,
So all right, so that's why I voted Billy Kay. Over 300 votes here. Over 300 votes. 38.2% said do not make me do this, but 37.9%, almost dead even. Same amount of people, Peyton Royce. Only 23.9% said Billy Kay. 1 in 4 people like me are correct. But I'm very surprised that there was almost a dead even amount of people that were like, I like Peyton Royce the most, and they're willing to stake their claim on it, as opposed to the amount of people that were like, don't make me do this. These two are inseparable,
Yeah, and I'm just kind of searching my mind to try to figure out what would make people even prefer one over the other, because I just think they're so fantastic together. They're two of the most gorgeous women in the entire world, and just full package for both of them. You know what I mean? In-ring work and promos. That I don't know how you could. People, tell me how. Tell me why.
The bus cat, why make us pick? We have at Rip City Beef, you got to be joking me. I riled a bunch of people up here. I like this comment from Dino Garofalo, but isn't it iconic? Don't you think?
Love that. I'm gonna see Alanis in October.
Are you?
Oh yeah, it's been put off a year and a half, so I'm really excited.
I just recorded a Alanis concert on my DVR over this past weekend, so I haven't watched it yet. I also have a Norah Jones concert I recorded over the week.
Oh, fabulous, Nick.
I'm pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Clearly.
Pretty cool.
Clearly.
Anyway, Rob Humphrey, everything's a work.
Rob Humphrey also said there's more to women than their looks, Christy. That's a good point, Rob. I was just pointing out how both Peyton and Billy are the full package. They got it all.
I love Brian Bill's Payro, which I imagine is Peyton's Spanish sister, right? Or Payra.
Oh, okay. She can pull that off.
Stan Grub. To me, that should really be a warning to fans for jumping on Vince and creative too quickly. Peyton asking for it makes me wonder how much has been asked for by talent rather than creative before. And that is a great take, because it does kind of make you, look at other things. Like, I think it's very easy to blame the machine and go after them. And in a lot of cases, it sounds like, the machine is messed up and did destroy people. But there are other times where, we don't know, like the Bray Wyatt thing. I am so fascinated to find out what more went down there, because I think everybody up and down has said there's got to be more to this than just we're paying you 1.2 mil downside. Got to be more to it, I think.
Even with the fact that he was just about to come back and all that, you think they just didn't look at it and go, you know what? We don't have that much in store for you. You're not worth this big deal that you negotiated recently. Meh. I know we're going to give you a huge push, but we're going to give you a push off the cliff instead.
Yeah, it's just weird, because you would think that they would, because there's things you could do with him. Like, you go back, you look at how much money this guy made. Like, this whole universe, they're selling puppets, they're selling little playhouses. Like, how do you not find a way to make a deal and monetize with this guy? You got to want to not do it. And that's the thing is I want to figure out is, why did they not want to do it? Like, at what point did this become something they were no longer interested in, and why? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess now that you bring it up, you've got a good point there.
Yeah. Why? We also have Jacob Grandi. He took time off. Time and time again, and had a huge downside guarantee. But it also sounds like, according to the reports, Jacob, he was dealing with some kind of ailment that he got cleared for a couple days before they released him. So I don't know that that's any fault of his. It sounds like, I don't know.
Yeah, any of those little details that come out now after a release, I think we always have to take with a grain of salt. Both sides have a motivation to push a certain narrative. So I'm kind of hesitant of any details that we hear.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the show here today. What a fun week it has been. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, everybody, again. Thank you to Trish. We're going to be back Monday. I'll be joined by Michael Weissman, and we're going to have a mystery interview. I have a whole grab bag of interviews to choose from here. I even have another one I'm doing this afternoon. I have no idea what we're going to play next, but just expect some big things. We got at least 2 really big ones next week that I'm excited about. Also, if you like the Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all the socials. You can support the Wrestling Inc. podcast. That's at night after the big shows right here. It's just like this, different faces, different punditry. You can subscribe to that on your favorite podcast platform as well. Leave us a nice iTunes review. The Wrestling Inc. Daily. All that stuff helps. 5-star ratings, always very good. Christy, what do you want to plug, promote, put over here to wrap up the show today?
Well, I just love hearing everybody's thoughts. And if you guys want to connect with me, you can do that at Christy Reports. And all my wrestling content, news, Bright Side of the Ring, exclusive interviews, all goes up at ChristyReportsAllAccess.com. I know we have some subscribers in the chat today, so I appreciate every single one of you. And please go check it out.
There you go. And of course, a couple quick plugs for me. If you are in Chicago next Friday, I'm hosting the official AEW Rampage premiere party at Replay Lincoln Park. Free arcade games, pinball machines. I got told yesterday they're sending us a prize pack to give away. It's free to attend. So if you come, we're going to all watch the party. We're going to all watch the premiere. We're going to drink. I'm going to give you free stuff, AEW stuff. And so it's really like a no reason not to come situation. So come out to Replay Lincoln Park next Friday. Free. Everything's free. Free to enter. You got to pay for booze, but everything else is free. Yeah, very exciting. And I had one more thing. Pro Wrestling for Life. Me and Sean Waltman. It's out now. Me, him, Nick Gage, Matt Cardona, and next week we got Malachi Black. So go subscribe to Pro Wrestling for Life as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I am at Nick _Hausman on Twitter. I'll talk to you on Monday. And remember, if you winked,